Which B2B services are taxable in France and who is the taxpayer for VAT purposes?
When the service provider and the client are both established in France, the supply of services is subject to French VAT, except in specific cases of exemption. The service provider adds the French VAT to its invoice. The customer pays the VAT and deducts it on its VAT tax return. But when the supplier or the customer is not established in France, we have to determine for each services. First, the place of taxation, to find out which VAT to apply. Then, who is the taxpayer, to find out whether the supplier or the customer has to collect the relevant VAT. There are two kinds of rules applicable. On the one hand, the general principle for B2B services. In B2B relationship, the services are VAT taxable in the country where the client is established. If the service provider is not established in the same country as the client, the taxpayer will be the client. The invoice doesn't include any VAT, and the client has to collect himself the VAT through the reverse charge mechanism. On the other hand, there are some exceptions to this general principle for few kinds of services. It concerns services linked to real estate, car rental, storage, or hosting services, for example. They are taxed in the country where the real estate is built, the storage takes place, the kilometers are traveled, the hosting services take place. If the client is established in the country of taxation and the service provider is not, then the client will be the taxpayer. The invoice doesn't include any VAT, and the client has to collect himself the VAT through the reverse charge mechanism. But if neither the client nor the service provider is established in the country of taxation, then the taxpayer will be the service provider. In this specific case, the service provider has to be registered in the country of taxation to be able to invoice, collect, and refund VAT to the local tax administration. Therefore, it is important to analyze the flow of transactions before contracts are signed, in order to determine whether the service provider should be registered or not in the country of taxation for VAT purposes.